Welcome. I'm Corey. This is Ronnie. This is
Your
your
upgraded
upgraded life. Today we're going to go over some things as far as communication.
So have you all ever asked a question, or when you were talking with somebody, you're like, that's not what I said.
Exactly.
Like, I said this, but that's not what I said. And then it ends up going into somebody misunderstanding you, going into an argument, or any of the above.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about today, how to effectively communicate. Not specifically just for relationships, where we're going to talk about how it looks in a relationship.
Yeah.
But we're talking about how to effectively communicate with anyone, because you think you're saying something one way, and somebody interpret it another way, and then it just gets blown out of proportion. Whoever it is, it could be parenting, it could be marriage, it could be a teacher-student relationship, whatever it is. If you don't know how to effectively communicate, trust me, life is a lot harder. So what we're going to talk about is the foundations of what really communication is all about. In order to effectively communicate with someone on a deeper and a more interesting level, or a deeper level where they can really understand what you're saying, we have a couple of pointers to go to do that, or how to do that. So if you cannot effectively communicate, if you cannot mentally, emotionally tell someone how you feel and they understand that, then that's where the lines of communication get broken down.
Or you think you're communicating, but you really are not communicating well.
Right. That's where your problems come in at. So in a relationship, any relationship, you should be able to and be comfortable with expressing your feelings, your thoughts, your emotions, what you're thinking effectively, without it having to be an argument, or without it having to be someone being defensive, argumentative, controlling, or abusive, even when you want to say that. If you're not comfortable with being able to express who you are 100%, your authentic self, then you have a problem, especially in your relationship, because a relationship will not thrive if you cannot be yourself with whoever you're with. You agree with that?
I agree.
You want to say something
that?
on
Just from a male perspective, we don't do a lot of talking anyway. And so communication is sometimes, in the back of our minds. And so a lot of times when my wife is trying to communicate with me, I'm hearing, but I'm not hearing.
Like if I tell him, like, for instance, I may say, okay, I need more of this, or what I'm seeing, I saw you do this and I wanted to talk to you about it. Immediately, what he would do would be what?
I would go into defensive mode. Like, she could say something as far as, well, baby, I need more romance, or, I need you to do this, that, and the third. And I took it as, well, I don't do nothing. You saying I don't do nothing?
And that's not what I was saying.
That's not what she
That's
was
what
saying.
he heard, but that's not what I was saying to him. And he couldn't hear the rest of my point, because his mind already went into defense mode. It went into being offended. It went into what you're saying, I'm not good enough, or I'm not doing this good enough, instead of him taking the walls down and listening. And so that's what we want to talk about. The key to effective communication with anyone, but especially in a marriage, especially in a long-term relationship, or with your significant other, is called active listening. That's the key.
And actually, when she would be trying to communicate with me, I would be thinking 3 steps ahead on how I can defend myself on the next thing she was going to say. But that won't even where she was coming
He was
from.
already, I may have said 2 words or 3 words, and he was already ahead of me, y'all. Like, it was like, wait a minute, I ain't even got the rest of the sentence out, and you already like, I didn't go there. Like, what? Bring this all the way down. And so a lot of our problems would come because either he wasn't hearing me, and when I was trying to communicate with him, or on my end, the flip side of this is because he was like that, and I learned that pattern. And we talk a lot about this in our book, y'all, about kind of getting rid of old patterns and trying to think new, and renewing your relationship, renewing your mind, even when you're with your significant other or whoever you're with. Because I shut down a lot of how I communicated with him, because I knew how he was going to respond, which is not healthy either. So what I would do is, because I'm the type of person that I'm gonna let you say what you have to say, I'm listening, and then I'll try to repeat what you said so that I can understand. That's how I communicate. But because he wasn't that type of communicator with me, it always became, when I went to go say something to him, it was harder for me because he was on defense mode. When he would come to me, I could listen, so he could get his point across and understand. I could understand what he's saying. So I shut down. I didn't want to really talk about what I was thinking about or what I wanted.
And I would also bring up, and this is a big tip, I would also bring up when she was trying to tell me what was going on with her, I would bring up my stuff. So like she would tell me, I need you to do this, I need you to do that. And I would be like, but you ain't doing this, but you ain't doing that.
Okay,
and,
so
and
can we
that
say,
could have been valid,
right?
But it's not the time when your significant other, spouse, or anybody else is trying to communicate to you what they need to say to you, that's not the time for you to bring up what they're not doing.
Yeah, or what you need from them.
Or
And can you say that pours fire? Literally,
yeah,
the relationship's supposed to be like a flame anyway, but it's supposed to be a flame of passion, love, that type of thing. But when you throw, okay, well, you ain't doing this and you ain't doing that, that throws gasoline on it. And can you talk about a ready-made argument in less than 1 second flat?
Right.
Like, that's how you go. That's how it escalates out of nowhere. And a lot of times when that happens, you don't have time to stop, think, reassess what you're saying, what's being said, so that you can calmly talk about what's being said. Because when you do that, now you go off into all other subjects that don't have nothing to do with what you came to talk about in the first place. Exactly. So backing from that, the first step is learning how to actively listen to whoever it is talking to you about what it is they want to share. Mm-hmm. Don't think about what you could be saying. Don't think about what could be doing or you could be doing or what they should have done. That's not active listening. So you have to retrain yourself. And I had to work on this too sometimes.
Yeah, and active listening is not about you. Active listening is about who's trying to communicate to you on their feelings. Right. Like, it doesn't have to be a relationship. It could be me and one of my boys. You know what I'm saying? We had a disagreement over something. We might have been watching a game together and we had a disagreement over something. He was trying to tell me, yo, I ain't like the way you did this, man. And I didn't hear that. And I was in defense mode. And now that relationship gets broken. It could be anything.
Right. So, and what you just said about that, I think the part about, it can go to any relationship, that is so important, because of the simple fact that if you do, the question I would say is ask yourself this: have you found yourself, your friends or people that are around you, they don't really open up to you, or, they kind of like, don't really say too much to you on a deeper level? That's an indication that you are not a good listener, or that you may not be a good active listener, because they're afraid to really be honest with you. That's one way a red flag of whether or not you're effectively communicating properly, is if someone doesn't really want to tell you how they feel. And this could be for a man or a woman. If you're the type of woman that goes straight into, rah-rah mode, like da 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 da, or if you're not that type of person, if you don't go into rah-rah mode, but you just shut down. Yeah. And you just you checked out. They're talking to you, but you're I'm not even hearing you. Mm-hmm. That's not effectively communicating. No. And your relationship would definitely break down. We can't talk about date nights. We can't talk about spicing it up. We can't talk about passion. We can't talk about any of that if we have not addressed how to effectively communicate and how to make sure that you're being heard, and your spouse is being heard, or whoever is being heard the right way, and it's not offending someone, or you're not being offended when someone's trying to communicate with you. You're not being argumentative. Mm-hmm. You're not, just shutting down. We have to make sure that those things are broken down. So because
I wanted to say this. If communication, let's say you go through a whole week and there hasn't been any communication there, it's tough for your spouse or your significant other to now, turn on the hot light, be hot and ready. Y'all ain't really been talking all week. Right. Y'all been at odds, and now
your back turned in bed.
Yeah.
Matter of fact,
and
y'all
as a man,
times.
It's gonna come some point where we gonna, we gonna want something.
You gonna want something. You gonna want it.
And so, we want her to be hot and ready, but we ain't really been talking to her all week.
Right. Or vice versa. Because it could be the female. It could be she been acting a monkey. Okay, you've been acting a monkey, and now you want him to do X, Y, and Z, or you want him to.
Well, I don't care how you act. I'm still gonna take it. You know what I'm saying? Though I'm still gonna take it. But I'm gonna be mad with you. But I'm still gonna take it.
But it could be though. You could have some men that be gonna hold a grudge, and I don't care what you do. You could come in here looking like how you look. I'm still gonna be mad. I don't know if it worked, but hey, you could be like that. That's going to hurt you if we still can't get over the communication hump. A lot of people don't want to talk about it and don't feel like it's important. They think it's a boring subject, but actually it's not. Yeah. This right here is one of the most important things that can help you in your life in general. How you may want to get business. If you can't effectively communicate your business strategy, if you don't know how to listen to what somebody's telling you that they need versus what you want to, your point that you want to get across and what you want to do, you may lose business. So this really is so important, learning how to effectively communicate. Is there something else you want to say on that?
I just want to say that everybody on the flip side of that, it's amazing how everybody wants to be heard, but nobody wants to listen. And
right.
at the end of the day, just learning how to listen will change all your relationships in your life, not just this one, but the relationship with my kids, the relationship with my friends, the relationships, with a coworker or anything. All that stuff will change if you understand how to become an active listener.
Right. And being like you said, being slow to speak and fast to listen will go a long way, because now you really can understand what it is this person, it makes them tick, what it is they need from you, how you can fill the void if there's something that's not being done. So all these pointers are the pointers that we have in our book. And I want, if you didn't take away anything from this video, because we're going to wrap it up, we're trying to keep our videos really short and sweet for you guys.
Yes.
So everything that we're telling you is in our book. Okay. So if you're not a reader, trust and believe, it's okay. We have a audio version of this book as well. So don't worry about having to read it. If you don't like to read, that's fine. But I want you to take away a couple of points from this video. We're not going to give you all the tidbits because we want you to get the book. But 3 points that I want to leave you guys with about effectively communicating and how to make sure you're communicating and getting yourself better in that area. Okay. So the first point would be listening from a neutral space or a neutral place. Really hear what is being said to you. Don't come with your preconceived notions. Don't just check out. Don't do any of that. Don't interrupt and allow each person to express their thoughts completely. Don't stop in the middle of the sentence because you don't know what they're going to say.
Don't assume because see, we've been together so long. I kind of assume the next step that she gonna say.
Right. If y'all don't know, we're going on 26 years. So yes, he knows me. So he thinks he knows everything, but we're always evolving, right? So you never really know everything about everybody all the time.
Yes.
Okay. So the third and last point would be, don't turn your back and walk away when someone's talking to you. If it gets heated, decide together that you're going to take a moment. I need a moment to get it together. Let's come back in about 5 minutes. But don't turn away.
I call it drop the mic.
Drop the mic. He likes to drop the mic. He used to like to drop the mic.
I said what I got to say. You know what? I'm out.
I can't say what I need to say. Don't do that, because that just causes more arguments and more discord in your home, in your life, in your family life, whatever. So just don't do that. Don't drop the mic on them, okay? All right, you guys. So I just want to leave you guys we wanted to leave you guys with those 3 pointers. Please, if you like what you see, please subscribe, like everything, comment. We want to hear what you guys have to say, and we hope to see you next time. Oh, and all of the links for our book are down in the description.
And there will be a trailer for our book.
So you can go out
at the end of this video.
All right, you guys have a nice one. Bye.
When spouses get bored, fail to communicate, or struggle to balance parenting and marriage can feel like an impossible challenge. And spouses think the only solution is to end their story. Is there a secret to a happy marriage? Rather than feeling like a failure or rushing straight toward divorce, use this book to transform your life and relationship. The information in this book will help bring peace and joy to your family and make it easy to achieve a fun, loving, and passionate marriage. Get your copy now.